Hi, welcome to Ranger Country. I'm Peter.
And I'm Lawrence.
And here we are today, very excited with the brand new BSA R12 CLX Pro regulated air rifle.
We got through it.
Now this is the replacement for the BSA R10.
Yeah, that and the R10 thumbhole, they're obviously both the same actions.
Very similar stock to the R10 thumbhole.
Yeah, on the outside it looks very similar.
Yeah.
But on the inside they've actually changed a lot. Thankfully they've only changed what we wanted changing, and they've kept what we've liked about it for the past however many years that these the R10 SE and the R10 thumbhole have been out. But yeah, they've changed it up. We've got a new monoblock action, which is the same as the Ultra CLX that we've had for a year or so now.
That's worked very well. It's proved to be very popular, that one, hasn't it?
It has.
Yeah. Now the original CLX, when it came out, the special edition, that had the side lever, didn't it? And this one has the same side lever, which is spring loaded, so slight touch and it springs out. Now, quite a few people on the range, we had this down the range on Saturday, and quite a few people like that feature.
Okay. I'm quite the opposite, actually. I would much prefer, when I've cocked the rifle, I want it to be completely smooth with no resistance pushing it back.
Okay.
So everyone's different.
Yeah. Yeah. It is very nice smooth action, that one. So what's different about this one? I think the major change that we're all very excited about is a brand new regulator. Now, I think most people who watch YouTube, they're familiar with the internet, they go on the forums and they know about the problems with the R10s, namely the regulators, which they've suffered from probably from day one in the Mark 1, haven't they? They've got slightly better through the series into the SE, but the SE was still pretty dogged by regulator issues. Low power, inconsistencies, we've had them, and now they've actually done something about it. This isn't just a slight change of the regulator, this is a whole new regulator that they've designed. So, fingers crossed.
All being well, time will tell.
Yeah. Now, signs are good on this.
Yeah.
Signs are very good on this. We'll get to the range testing in a moment, but back to the gun. So what else have we got on this that is different? We have the magazine, which is shared with the CLX, don't we?
Yeah, it's their new style CLX magazines. It's different to the standard R10 10-round magazines that we've known and quite liked over the past 10 years or so. They're this new 12-shot magazine, hence the R12. New 12-shot magazine in both calibers 177 and 22. Works just the same. You can load the pellet in, turn it with your thumb, put the next one in. Once you've put your second pellet in, it will then hold itself there.
Quite like the shot counter.
Yes, so when you pop it into the rifle, on the left-hand side, I'm not sure how well the camera will see, but on the left-hand side, as you look as you've got the rifle up into your shoulder, as you look on the left, there's a little counter on the magazine telling you how many pellets you've got left.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
Further changes they've made to the magazine, they've actually moved the position of this O-ring that retains your pellets to retain the pellets in the magazine better. Nice little development there. Now, when we were shooting, what I found that the preferred pellets, the BSA Gold style, and you've got a point about that, haven't you, a bit later on. The preferred pellets, which are in fact I think they're an H&N field target trophy pellet, aren't they?
Yeah, the same weight and everything. They'll be rebranded. There'll be a slightly different die set from the factory, so they will be slightly different, but essentially they're field target trophies.
Now, I found them quite hard to get into the magazine. I used the next pellet to go into the magazine to push the previous one in to bottom it out. I think that adds to the security of the pellet being in the magazine. Didn't dislike it. Did you have any? Did you have any comments on that? Or?
No, I don't think so.
It's quite tight. I think they've changed the size of this O-ring as well to retain to make sure that the pellet is retained properly. So quite a bit of thought's gone into that. Anti double load as well.
Yep, Viroc have been doing it for years. BSA seem to have finally caught up, and they've now got this side lever action with an anti-double load feature on it.
Nice. I mean, we get it, don't we? Having the range, we get people double loading most guns, and it can be 2 pellets. Okay, any more than 2 pellets, you've got a blockage generally. But I like that anti-double load. You can see what pellet number you're on.
Yeah.
Quite a few.
Easy to load.
Yeah, quite a few design modifications there, and it's held in by a little magnet. That's a neodymium magnet, I dare say. Quite strong. As it drops in, it clicks it in place.
Nice and positive. Nice and easy to get in. Nice and easy to get out. Overall, brilliant little design actually on these magazines.
Yeah. Another thing I can see from here is the gauge. Now, it looks like the colour coding is very similar to the Viroc colour coding, which has been fantastic for years, hasn't it?
It looks suspiciously similar to the Viroc gauges that we've seen over the past however long.
It does. The colour coding banding makes it very easy to see what you've got in, how much you've got to go. The old ones were okay, but the graduations that were quite small. The gauge was smaller, and generally it was a lot harder to check your gauge, really.
If you needed glasses or your eyesight was a little bit poor, you'd have to fumble with your glass. Where is that? Is that 100 or is that 150? Whereas now if it's in the green, it's good. Nice big gauge, so it's a lot clearer.
Good for us older folks, I guess, then.
Didn't want to say it.
And this nice little dust cover, magnetically held in place.
Yeah, something as simple as that little, whatever it is, Delrin plastic, whatever it is, with some magnets on it, and that will go around the gauge and cover the fill port, so you don't get any dust or anything into the fill port.
Now, we haven't got any spares of these in yet. I think we need to, don't we? Because they're going to be...
Oh yeah, I've dropped it at least twice.
Have you?
Yeah.
They're going to be left at filling benches all around the country, I think. Yeah.
The stock itself is also slightly different. Obviously, the stock has been redesigned to take this larger gauge. We should also talk about some other little adjustments to the stock. So the stippling around, obviously, the pistol grip around the fore end is a little different. It's a little less harsh. It's like individual hexagons raised, which is quite nice.
Graduated as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, that nice little building up to the black of the black action.
Adjustable cheek piece, adjustable butt plate, which is adjustable on 3 axes, up, down, side to side, and
left and right.
Yeah, that is really side to side, isn't it? Yeah.
You've got adjustable cheek piece, adjustable butt plate.
Yeah. Now we've partnered this up with a Baby Hawk Air Max, 4 to 12 by 40. I found that fantastic on the range.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did the job. 30 yard shooting, no problem whatsoever. Quite nice and compact, quite low down on medium mounts as well.
That's another bonus. Now I don't want to compare it to... In this price range, there's going to be a few rifles that are very similar.
We are. It's opened up quite a market, hasn't it, in this sort of...
Yeah. Now the Air Arms Ultimate Sporter is very similarly priced.
It is, yeah.
Very similarly specced with the adjustable stock, 2 mags, shrouded barrel, very, very similar. But this rifle, when the magazine is in, it's completely flat. Whereas on the Air Arms, there's a raised magazine well. What that means in real terms is you can get the scope a lot lower, depending on which scope you've got. Some scopes will go lower.
I hadn't really considered that either.
And also, if you wanted to get a one-piece mount on, you can. And you can get any night vision on.
Yeah, good point. Very good point. Now, I know that Daystate have changed their magazines, haven't they? They've gone for a different magazine system. And it's meant that the magazine comes a lot higher off the action, isn't it? Which pushes your scope up a little bit higher, which has caused us a few little issues over the time. But
this
nice.
seems to be much better at that. Yeah.
So we've got shrouded barrel. We've got the standard BSA CCS configuration. So that's customer configurable shroud. So you can have the shroud with a moderator. You can take the shroud off and just have the moderator on the end of the barrel, I believe, can't you?
So are you telling me that that's the BSA R12 CLX Pro regulated customer configurable shroud?
Correct.
Okay.
In 2.2.
In 2.2.
This particular one. Yes, it is. So what else do we like about it?
The shot count is mega. Don't want to compare it to the Ultimate Sporter again, but if it's nearly 3 times the amount of shot count that you would get out of the Air Arms Ultimate Sporter.
So in this, in 2.2, we're looking at up to 280, aren't we, shots? Yeah. And in 177, up to 250. That would be obviously a 230 bar fill, wouldn't it? But,
yeah.
Yeah. And the gauge actually does go, the green does go to 230.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we like the shot count. It's not too heavy.
No.
I mean, it's a bigger shot count, so you'd expect a little bit more weight than...
It's just under 3.8 kilos, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Manageable.
Yeah.
It's a typical... What does an Ultimate Sporter weigh? Do you know off the top of your head?
Not sure.
Is it similar?
Touch less, but it's got a smaller shot count, so it will do.
Yeah.
And this one's the laminate, which I would imagine is heavier than the walnut, because they usually are.
Yeah.
So that's possibly a factor as well.
Now this one, if you've already got an R10 or an R10 thumb hole and want to use your fill probe off that one, you can't.
You had luck.
Yeah. This uses the same fill probe as the new Ultra CLX. So the new fill probe comes with the rifle and it's not shareable with the standard R10 or the R10 thumb hole.
That caught me out when I went to fill it.
Did it?
Yeah, I went to push the standard R10 one in and it didn't go in. I
Wouldn't
thought,
fit.
I know why.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So, carbine or super carbine? I mean, carbine is really short, isn't it? And so, this one is the carbine, which is the longer version. But generally, a carbine is, in a range of guns, is the carbine means it's shorter, doesn't it?
Yeah, so that's a bit confusing, isn't
It is, yeah. So, carbine, which is the long one, or super carbine, which is the shorter one.
Yeah. Which is different to how the R10 SE was, because that was rifle length and then carbine.
It was.
Which was brilliant, which was very intuitive.
Yeah.
But now it's carbine and super carbine, which... Anyway.
Yeah. 40 inches the length overall of the standard carbine.
Full length one, yeah.
We didn't measure the super carbine, did we?
No,
generally a couple of inches shorter. 280cc bottle on this one, aluminium. I think it's a little bit longer, but a little bit thinner than the standard, the original bottle.
Yeah.
And I believe that a carbon fibre bottle is available as an extra.
I thought I read that it was in the works. Whether it is by the time the video goes up.
Yep. It's on its way anyway. So probably be a bit lighter, change the point of balance maybe, might give us more shots. We'll see. Yeah. So what did we make of this on the range? I know that I ran the range on Saturday and I had this down. I had probably 15 people have a shot with it. How did you get on Tuesday? I know you had it down there, didn't you?
Yeah, I took it down on Tuesday. I think we had 6 or 7 guys trying it. The consensus was that it was brilliant. Everyone loved it. I don't think there was a bad word said about it. Neither from me shooting it nor any of the members. Which I can't remember the last time we've had that.
No. I think on Saturday we had. I mean, I've got targets here from. I've picked the targets up from. I think I've got 9 here, which will show a still of when we finish. And that was a mix of people, a mix of abilities down the range, isn't it? So it's not just pro shooters.
You're telling me.
That was yours. It's a mix of shooters from people who have been started a few weeks to seasoned individuals, and but the feedback that we got was very, very good. Everybody liked it. I mean, I think indeed a couple of people said they would like to purchase one from it.
One thing that I don't want to keep harking back to comparing it to its competitors.
Yeah.
But we had Ian was down on Tuesday. He uses and has used for the past 6 or so months an Air Arms Ultimate Sporter. First thing he noticed on this is that when he cocked the bolt back, he said it didn't go back as far as the Ultimate Sporter does.
Okay.
So he didn't have to move it through as far of a range of motion.
Okay.
Which meant it was a bit faster to cock and a bit easier, he said.
Okay.
Which was quite interesting, something I hadn't noticed.
Yeah. Interesting, definitely. Yeah. No, I think everybody that shot it was accurate. We all had the Gold Star pellets. Now we go to that little point that we mentioned a little bit earlier on in the
video.
Yeah, that you said the Gold Star were good.
Yeah.
But you found something a little bit better.
Yeah, so I tried 6 or so different pellets, just whatever we had there on the range. The Gold Stars were very good. The H&M Field Target Trophies were similar, probably not quite as good, so I'll probably go for the Gold Star instead of the Field Target Trophy. But the pellet I found that seemed to be as good, if not better, were in fact JSB Exact Heavies. They're the 18.13 grain pellets. It just seemed to like them for some reason.
Interesting. What did that do to the grouping?
I mean, it brought the point of impact down, obviously, but it tightened it up. Yeah, we've got some ragged holes there with the Gold Stars. We've got some ragged groupings, and the Exact Heavies brought it in a little bit tighter. It was somewhere around end of my finger sort of grouping at 30 yards.
30 yards, that's not bad at all.
No, and it was a bit it was deceptively breezy. That's not me making an excuse, even though
that's your normal excuse.
I am good at that.
Yeah. Okay. So I know I'm going to do a range video on Saturday for the rifle, and I will try some of those, and I will report back the findings of the measure the group. So overall, are we happy with it?
Yeah. So far, time will tell on the reg problems or
Yeah.
any reg problems.
Yeah.
But otherwise, we like all the bits that have changed.
I did try to get a picture from BSA of an old regulator and the new regulator together to show the difference, but I haven't managed to obtain that yet. May have it for the range video to be able to add it onto that. I'm not sure. But it is a brand new regulator. It's similar to a Humor, I'm led to believe, but it's designed and made by BSA. If we can get rid of those regulator problems that the R10 suffered from, we've got a class beater here, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that.
And it's all in that regulator. We're promised, we're told that it is a brand new reg. But of course, you know, regulator, it's had a lot of testing at the factory, hasn't it?
Yeah.
We've had it down the range for 2 days. Generally, if somebody can break a rifle, our guys down the range can manage it, can't they? And they didn't. So, yeah, all in all, very, very promising.
Yeah.
Very accurate, very, very good to shoot. And that's it. Thank you very much, and we'll see you down the range.
Thank you.